Jim Miller here, National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Dan Gable Museum. Quick takes off the mat with Kyven Gadson. Kyven, two-time state champ for East Waterloo here, right down the street. And actually wrestled for a legendary coach and athlete who happened to be his dad, Willie Gadson. And a lot of people in the wrestling community know Willie. And you know, I coached my son in college, and I just wanted to throw that out. How was that? How was that? Was that a challenge getting coached by your dad in high school?
There were several challenges to the father-son coach-athlete relationship. I remember when I was in elementary school, and we would like get in the car after a practice, and my dad would like just start talking about wrestling. I'm like, Dad, I need, and I was just like, I was pretty outspoken, like probably rambunctious child. I was just like, look, I need a dad, like I need a dad, and then coach later, right? Like, but I need both, like, but it always felt like coach. But I felt like he cared enough to make those adjustments, right? He cared enough to make those adjustments. When I got to high school, he kept me out of my first half of the season as dad. Because I had a C+ in class, and he believed
One C+?
One C+. And he caught some flack for it from other people, but he's like, nah, he's gonna figure it out. Like I'm in our house, that's unacceptable, and it's not that it was unacceptable because I didn't know what I was doing. It was because of the effort and energy I was putting in that was unacceptable. And now looking back at it, I'm very appreciative of those lessons. Although in the moment, it was just like, what are you doing, right? Like I'm supposed to be getting ready to win a state title as a freshman, and you're not letting me wrestle half of the season for a C+. But now that I'm an adult and I have kids of my own, I can understand his emphasis and on those situations. But it was definitely tough. Like we got into verbal sparring matches and stuff, and I'd storm out and be hot-headed. And I remember he wasn't a very big fan of me like celebrating and stuff like that, and I did that a couple times, and he had to snatch me up and whatnot. But I'm super appreciative of the lessons from my dad, just because I know it was all from a very solid place of love. And moving like after we got past that like friction when I lost in the state finals, which is a story I share all the time, my sophomore year, and I told him like, look, I'll do whatever you tell me to do as long as that never happens again. Once we got past that like moment where like I was grounded, humbled, and I was like, look, you know what you're doing. Tell me what I need to do. I'll listen. I'll receive you. My mind's open. I got embarrassed, so just tell me what I need to do so that I can have an opportunity at achieving my goals. And it's been pretty solid ever since then. Obviously, losing him in 2013 was extremely tough, and it still is tough, in certain ways to this day. But I'm definitely grateful for the time I got to spend with him.
What do you hold on to? Is there something you hold on to from him that still today when you're competing or life, or just a lot of things?
Butt whoopings are free, Jack. he used to tell me that because I wouldn't listen. I was hard-headed. I was stubborn. He's like, and butt whoopings are free, Jack. And it's real, like if you're not willing to address yourself, know yourself, and like listen. If you're not willing to be coachable, if you're not willing to learn, like if you're telling me something and I'm not gonna receive it, right? Whether it's right, wrong, indifferent, right? If I'm not willing to honestly assess it and receive it, then there's probably gonna be some hardships, right? You can learn from either mentors or mistakes, and for a good part of my career as an athlete, I chose to learn from my own personal mistakes instead of listening to the people that were in those mentor and coaching roles. And once I got over that hump, mentally, it helped me grow a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, I know after high school you went to Iowa State.
Yeah.
And Kevin Jackson was your coach, and I know he's very proud of you and a mentor and so forth. And now you're with USA Wrestling on the team. Are you and KJ still? Does he still help you in some ways?
Well, he's the national team development coach, or the junior cadet junior development coach. It's weird now because next year, come Olympic trials, right? He'll be in Jaden's corner.
Oh.
And so like
Because
that's
Jaden's at the.
yeah, because Jaden's at the
And
Olympic training center.
Jaden went
he's
up a
training.
weight, right?
Yep, and
Yeah,
Jaden's gonna be at
yeah.
97. So he'll be at Jaden. He'll be in Jaden's corner. So that'll be unique
Yeah.
for me. Just because I see KJ as like a father figure, especially
Right.
with the timing of when my dad passed away and everything like that. But we're still family. Love him, love his family. It'll be interesting. But he's definitely has that open door policy like he's always had. If I have questions, I can come ask him. But yeah, it'll definitely be it'll be interesting for me, just because I've never really experienced that. Like having like someone that
Yeah.
you have that type of bond with coach against you, right? So come April of next year, Lord willing, I'll be wrestling Jaden in the semis or the finals of the mini tournament of day one, and then Kyle the next day. So
Now you and Jaden wrestled in college, right?
once. We only
just once?
Yeah, just once. His true freshman year, my redshirt junior year, we wrestled at the Southern Scuffle in the semifinals. It was overtime match that I won. But yeah, we never wrestled again. The next year at Southern Scuffle, I got upset in the second round. He won the scuffle, and then at NCAAs, I won NCAAs.
Okay.
He lost to Kyle on the other side.
Okay.
So
how many times with USA? How many times you been overseas?
Since 2016, my first trip was
A bunch of times.
Yeah, it's been a good amount. Like,
Well, my question
like
is, do you
13.
like it? Do you like going overseas? And
it depends on where you're going. It depends on where you're going. Some places are nicer than others.
tell us a good place and tell us not so good experience.
I got to go to Hungary, Budapest in 2018 as Jaden's training partner for the World Championships, and so that was a really good experience. I also got to go to China for a training trip in December of 16. I would say the worst or the like toughest place, but it's tough and beautiful is like Belarus, because there's not like it's not like the food is great, but the facility is nice enough. The beds are small, and I've been to Belarus like 3 times, and it's all been for the Medved tournament, the Alexander Medved. But I like being overseas. I would like to, after I'm done competing in wrestling, go and actually explore. You know,
Sure.
For me personally, it's hard to go over there and you have a competition coming up and free yourself up enough to like explore and go do this and put energy into being a tourist when you have like a tournament.
Like at Belarus, do the people from Belarus, do they want to talk? Is it hard because of the
They don't
language?
see a lot. Yeah, they don't see a lot of black people.
So is that?
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And if you're wrestling really well, they're all over you.
Really?
Right. So
Very
that's
cool.
cool. But I've never really wrestled well over there yet. So.
Do you take, one thing I usually ask people, do you take your own food when you go? Do you take some of your own food?
No. Snacks.
Okay.
Little snacks. But not like I saw Kyle Dake go over there once, and dude had like canned chicken, pepper. Like he was going hard. He was going hard with like toot. Really prepped out. But no, I've just kind of went with whatever.
Okay.
Whatever's over there, we'll go and deal with it.
Well, in recent months, you kind of had some injuries, right?
Yeah.
And so now with the Olympic trials being pushed back a year, do you look at that as a positive?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's another year to prepare. If you'd have told me this in December that we were gonna get postponed, I definitely would have looked at it as, I don't know how this is all gonna work, you know, like because in a way you start prepping yourself for life after the Olympics, right? So
Right.
like August, Olympics are gonna happen. You're gonna win. What does it look like after that, right? And so some certain things have been like, pushed back, put on hold, but I'm definitely excited about another year to prepare. I've been talking with my trainer, Anthony Backham at MoveWell, which is functional patterns work, and we've just been super excited about another year to prepare and get my body feeling Lord willing, the best that it's ever felt.
And then is that it after Olympics? Have you decided, made a decision if you're gonna?
I believe it will be,
Okay.
just because I have other passions, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, time will tell. Like you can tell, you can say like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this," and then God's like, "Yeah, you are." And so it'll be interesting for me once that happens, what it looks like, how it goes, and then being able to sit down and really make a decision after stepping back and really evaluating and looking at everything.
You talked about passions. That's one thing we usually ask, and you've already mentioned some of the other guys, but that we've interviewed. But talk about something passionate off the mat that maybe we know or maybe we don't know.
Yeah, well, this quarantine time has been, for me personally, just been awesome. It's given me time to spend with family,
Sure.
focus on myself, focus on my mental health, everything like that. And so recently I was talking with my friend, and we had been talking about this for maybe a couple years. Hey, we need to start a wrestling club and things like that. And then they went for a walk. She went for a walk and was like, hey, I got an idea. Let me sit on it for about 48 hours, and then I'm going to come to you and we'll talk on Saturday, which was May 2nd. And she came to me and was like, hey, how about instead of just focusing on making a wrestling club, we make something bigger than that. We go into the community and start a nonprofit that helps kids through mentorship and getting them to creative outlets, right? Whether that's wrestling, whether that's basketball, whether that's violin, piano, like music,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's painting, drawing, right? And so my passion, and one of the things I went to graduate school for, which was higher education, leadership and learning, was social and emotional learning,
Mm-hmm.
social and emotional intelligence. And so we're going to put a focus on that and add in the mentorship piece and the creative outlets piece, but teaching kids to understand social and emotional learning. There's not a very big emphasis on that. It's getting bigger, but like you can tell a kid, hey, you need to read, or you need to write, right? Or you need to do your math. But if they don't understand how to control and deal with the mental side of it, they don't know how to understand their emotions, they don't understand what they're feeling, things like that, then they're going to struggle even if they know how to do what you're asking them to do. And so we're going to start a program called the Be Rare Initiative. And Be Rare is something that was very important to me. It's something I created my senior year of college, which stood for, there was a wrestling side is how it started, because I needed something, I wanted like a mantra that I could attach to, which was be relentless, be aggressive, be resilient, and be electric. That's what I wanted to embody out on the wrestling mat. Mm-hmm. And so that's how it started. Then there became the life piece, the spiritual piece, husband, father thing. And then, so, I mean, if you can see my shirt, it says Be Rare on it. Yeah. Right? And I felt if I'm going to be a national champ, I'm going to have to do stuff that other people won't do. I'm going to have to be rare. There's only 10 guys that get to become an NCAA Division I national champ every single year. And so with the Be Rare, I always started like Be Rare Foundation, whatever, and the initiative part just kind of came later. We're gonna make an impact. We're gonna influence. We're gonna inspire people, and I'm just really excited about it because it's something that I've seen from my parents. Like I saw my mom working on nonprofits. I saw my mom writing grants. I saw my dad work in Iowa City with the flight program. I saw him giving back to the community in Waterloo. That was always his passion. I was always seeing my parents serve others. And so this Be Rare initiative is super important. It's super exciting. The co-founder is Erica Andorf, who her son is Marcus Coleman on the Iowa State wrestling team. And so we're just like super excited. That's our passion. Our passion is people, especially kids, which was my undergrad, was child, adult, and family services with a youth emphasis. And so we're super excited about getting that rolling. And so yeah,
I can see you lit up just by talking about it.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm excited, and then like if you were to talk to Erica right now, like she would be like super excited. But we believe it's going to make an impact, not just in which we're starting in Ames, but we have intentions to grow. We're in Ames, so that just makes it easier. Then we want to move to Waterloo. That's where Marcus, her son, was born, and our oldest son. And then we'll go from there, maybe Des Moines, and continue to grow and branch out. But we really believe that the social and emotional learning is a very, very big key to helping, which the rare part is revitalizing at-risk kids every day. That's what it stands for now, in that context. And so we're really excited. We're getting the ground running, the board established, logos, motto, mantra, and mission statement, all that stuff. It's all been just like, right?
Very cool.
And so, yeah, I wanted, as a person, right? As a person, we want to leave a legacy and, like I said, impact, inspire, and influence positivity. And so I think this is a way that we can do that.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, let's end with this. Usually we ask, say, man, you got something funny to tell us? You got a story with, you've been all over the place. You've met a lot of people in wrestling and so forth, but what do you got for us? Can you share something?
I think the funniest one for me personally is, I think it was Southern Scuffle, June, was it senior year? It was senior year. We're sitting up in the stands. We're not having a good tournament as a team. And
so you're talking about the Cyclones?
Yes, okay. I would say sitting up in the stands. We're not having a good, very great performance. Earl Hall is the only, no, I might be mixing up the years. But anyways, KJ comes upstairs, right? And Molly Donnelly was our director of operations at the time, and she always let us ask what we wanted for, snacks, whatever. And so we would always ask for trail mix. We would always ask for trail mix and fruit snacks. And Earl didn't have a good tournament this time. And so I think I was in the finals. Marino might have been hurt. Weatherman might have also been banged up. So it just wasn't all gelling, right? And KJ comes up into the stands, and he's like, Earl, what are you eating? Because Earl's had some weight issues. He's like, Earl, what are you eating? He's like, trail mix, coach. He said, the peanuts, the M&Ms, all of it? And it was like everybody was like taken aback, like, oh, it snaps, like the man's mad about the trail mix, like it's trail mix, coach. Like you're trying to justify trail mix, but there's M&Ms in it, right? And he took the bag, kind of like stormed off, and
he took the bag.
Yeah, he took the bag. He took the bag. He took the whole, and it wasn't like no small, bag, right? It's like the big bag, And coach took that bag, man. And I swear, I think he went to his room and ended up eating it himself, man. Like, because when you're not having good performances, that stuff weighs on you. And like, I'm not gonna say he's an emotional eater. I know I'm an emotional eater. Like if my energy's off, like I get to eating stuff that I probably shouldn't. So I got to make sure I keep myself balanced. But Coach Jackson took that trail mix. He was not happy with Earl about that trail mix. The peanuts, the M&Ms, everything. I'm like, yo, Earl, you wild, bro. Like, because we have been eating trail mix. Like, okay, trail mix, like give you some energy, right? Like, nah, bro, your tournament's over. You don't need no energy. Like, you need to go run or something.
KJ, if you're watching, I hope you enjoyed that trail mix, bro. All right, man. Be rare.
Be rare initiative.
Keep your open to that in the near future. Kyven Gadson, quick takes off the mat, the Dan Gable Museum.